Hey guys, and welcome to City Geek. Today we'll be talking about the Pacific Northwest city of Portland, Oregon. Portland is a weird yet amazing city, and one that I've been lucky enough to visit often throughout my life growing up in the Northwest. Now let's get to it. I always like to start by quickly exploring how a city wound up being where it is today. Portland is located near the confluence of the Columbia and Willamette rivers, and the earliest inhabitants of that area were the Chinook people, who were documented by Lewis and Clark during their Corps of Discovery. Pioneer settlers began arriving en masse in the valley during the 1840s via the Oregon Trail. The Oregon Trail technically ended in nearby Oregon City, but the community that would become Oregon started to emerge closer to the mouth of the Willamette River. The community was originally called Stumptown, or the Clearing, because of the many trees that were cut down to allow for its growth. The story as to how the city would get its name is actually really interesting. The two founders of the city, Asa Lovejoy and Francis Pettygrove, were from Boston, Massachusetts and Portland, Maine, respectively. They each wanted to name Stumptown after their respective hometowns, so that controversy was settled with a coin toss that Pettygrove won in a series of 2 out of 3 tosses. That penny, now called the Portland penny, is on display at the Oregon Historical Society. Today, Portland is much larger than its namesake in Maine, with over 650,000 people, which make it the 26th largest city in the country and the 6th largest on the West Coast. About 2.4 million people live in the larger metro area, which ranks as the 25th largest metro area in the country. Some of the city's largest employers include Nike, Intel, and Columbia. Portland has a beautiful skyline situated between the Willamette River and the Tualatin Mountains. The skyline has 4 buildings tall enough to be considered skyscrapers. If you compare its height to other skylines in the country by taking the average of its tallest 5 buildings, it's the 39th tallest skyline in the country, at a similar height to Jacksonville and San Diego. The tallest building in the city is the Wells Fargo Center at 546 feet. Portland is a very counterculture city, which is part of why it's considered by some people to be, well, weird. There's even a large mural downtown that simply says, "Keep Portland Weird." Near the mural, you can often find one of the city's mascots, the Unipiper, which I've seen on multiple occasions while eating at Voodoo Donuts across the street. One way the city maintains its reputation of being weird is through its food scene. 2 examples of this would be Voodoo Donuts, where you can get all sorts of weird donut flavors like the famous maple bacon bar, and the other example is Salt and Straw ice cream, where you can get ice cream flavors like goat cheese, Marionberry, habanero. Salt and Straw was even featured in an episode of The World, according to Jeff Goldblum. Portland is considered to be one of the nation's best food truck cities, with over 600 food trucks or carts in the city. Portland also has more microbreweries per capita than any other city in the whole world. Portland is home to the world's largest privately owned bookstore, POWELL'S. The bookstore in Portland is massive at 68,000 square feet, which is why it's sometimes referred to as Powell's City of Books. It has over 3,500 different sections within it. It's definitely the most amazing bookstore that I've ever been to. Part of what gives Portland its nickname of the City of Roses is the International Rose Test Garden. Founded in 1917, it's a place where they develop new variations of roses. It's the oldest continually operated rose test garden in the whole country. I try to not deviate from talking strictly about cities themselves, but I have to make an exception with Portland. Portland is surrounded by some of the most incredible natural beauty in the whole country. There are volcanoes such as Mount Hood and Mount St. Helens, which are easily viewable from the city on a clear day, and you can also see Mount Adams and Mount Rainier from Pittock Mansion, which is on the hill overlooking the city. There's also the beautiful 620-foot Multnomah Falls, about a half hour from the city. Thank you for watching this video about Portland. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to visit Portland yourself, or if there are some things you wish I would have mentioned. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. I will regularly be posting videos about things related to cities, so if you enjoy learning about cities, please subscribe. Thanks and have a great day.